everyone, Sunny Snowflake here. 2 cards came out today for the moon in Aquarius, and the sun is in the season, the Virgo season. So the first one, they came out together, so it's kind of hard to know which came first. It was the 3 of fire. Look at all that red and orange and yellow. All 3 lower chakras. The physical manifestation. And he's going on his journey. He's got his backpack over, the mountains in the distance. He's ready and prepared, and he's looking away from the mountains, so he doesn't foresee any troubles ahead. So that's the first one we're going to read. The moon's in its second phase, which is the second phase. It's the waxing phase. So it's getting bigger, going from new moon up to full moon. The full moon actually happens on Tuesday, early hours of Tuesday morning, around 6:30. And the other card we got was the 6 of air. So we've got a 3 and a 6 there. 3 is expansion and creativity, and of fire. Air feeds fire, and 6 is unconditional love. And as you can see, you've got the all the three physical lower chakra colours, red, orange and yellow, in the 3 of fire. And in this one, you've got all the chakra colours, and then you've got the balance of the white and the black, the yang and the yin. The yin being the nurturing, the dark, the receptive, the unseen. The yang being the active, the doing, they, light. So air feeds fire. So these are really 2 powerful cards together that have come out. And the 3 and the 6, which add up to 9, is physical completion in the physical world. And it's the Tesla code, 3, 6 and 9. So you got your 3, you got your 6, and they add up to 9 as well. So yeah, I was saying it was in its second phase, going from waxing from the new moon, and it waxes and gets bigger up into the full moon, and then it wanes and gets smaller back down to the new moon. And you have 2 weeks ish for the first part and 2 weeks for the second. So we're in the second phase, which is the second week of the waxing moon. It's barren. Its rulers are Uranus and Saturn. Uranus is all about like becoming aware, waking up, sudden changes, and Saturn's all about boundaries, restrictions, limitations, and it could be give or take. And it's also systems, institutions, structure, society. Its impulse is reformer, and it rules the calves and ankles. So if you have any ankle issues or calf issues that flare up, they're more than likely going to flare up around this time. Also, so take care of them. If you know what you do to take care of them, doing stretches or yoga, what have you, you'll actually be more gentle on yourself because there's more energy going into that area. So you get more of a maximum output, most ease. But if you put too much energy in, and you've got those strong energies around as well, you could be more prone to having an injury, for instance. So it's about being more soft and gentle and doing less, but you're actually going to receive more back in the meantime of doing that. So I'm just going to read you a little bit from the moon sign book first of what an Aquarius moon is. An Aquarius moon's energy is masculine, barren, dry and airy. Activities that are unique, individualistic, concerned with humanitarian issues, society as a whole, and making improvements are favoured under this moon. So because Saturn's the ruler as well, and it just said about society as a whole, the moon in Aquarius is very complementive with those energies. The moon is also square Uranus on the chart. It is the quality which basically means there's a lot of people see it as opposing and negative, but it just means it might take more energy and more effort to look at things with more detail so you don't miss them, because there could be more resistance and more oppositions. But it depends how you utilize those energies and how you work with them to how they actually pan out. So therefore it could work to your favor, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's negative. It is this quality of making improvements that has caused this sign to be associated with inventors and new inventions. An Aquarius moon promotes the gathering of social groups for friendly exchanges. People tend to react and speak from an intellectual rather than emotional viewpoint when the moon is in this sign. So if you want to have any conversations with anyone, it's on an emotional level, it's best to wait, not do it in this sign, and wait until after the full moon. Don't actually do any kind of decisions or conversations or anything major within 24 hours either side of a full moon, because it could explode to a not favourable outcome. It's an air sign, and they're sociable, critical, and tend to represent intellectual responses rather than feelings. So that's just clarifying that again. And it's also fixed, which represents the between time. For example, Leo's in the month when summer really feels like summer. So it's the in-between, in the middle of a season, because you've got 3 months in the season. Okay, so we're going to read the card out now, the cards, just in case. It's the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. I love the way they word these. 3 of Fire. Keywords: action, implementation, exploration, expression, energy, hard work, sacrifice, limitation. Key phrases: necessary sacrifice, experiment, practice and refine. Avoid copying those who inspire. Step out into the great unknown and trust. Put your objectives first. Avoid cutting corners. Pay attention to details. Have you lost your direction? And I forgot to say, we're in the void of course moon at the moment. So the void of course is when the moon moves from one sign, but there's a period of time between it moving from that sign into another sign. So we're moving out of Capricorn into Aquarius, and there's a little bit of a time span in between that varies when it's not in either sign. And it's best just to, again, it's kind of, if you are working with moon energies, it's a time not to make any really important decisions or do any important actions, but a very good time to touch into the metaphysical world, your inner world, meditation, and anything that you just regular, normal, everyday stuff, that's fine with. And so it moves in at 1:37 a.m. tomorrow morning. It moves into Aquarius, and we're in the void of course moon since 8:31 p.m. this evening, and that's UK time. Meanings: do you have an idea or creative venture that you would like to implement? The 3 of Fire represents the necessary sacrifice that it may be required when we act on our goals and objectives. When we first began to act, we often find ourselves exploring the paths walked by those who came before us in order to discover and determine the best way to implement our ideas. However, that same exploration can inspire new ideas that break with tradition, because something old has been reimagined and expressed by a mind with a unique perspective to make it relevant in the present. To implement those new ideas requires sacrifice, commitment, and dedication. It means stepping away from what is tried and trusted, safe and secure, and stepping out into the unknown with an almost blind faith and commitment. It means putting the objective first and turning away from everything that distracts or might prevent it from being achieved. It means working hard and not cutting corners in order to speed up the process. Slow and steady wins the race. It means knowing that what you create will only equal what you have invested and what you are willing to invest. Turn the volume down, don't get interrupted. The 3 of Fire lets us know that now is also a good time to explore and experiment on a practical level. Use our hands and mind to practice, hone and refine our skills or abilities so that what we create and do will always be something crafted to the best of our abilities and be a true reflection of our passion and dedication. Remember also to avoid copying another's idea, because this is the time to be innovative. Create using our experience and imagination to inspire us instead of the vision and ideas of another. Potential blockage. When the 3 of fire appears reversed in our reading, it represents a need to look closely at what we are doing. Watch where we are going. Do not allow ourselves to fall or trip or become lost because we are not paying attention. Remember our objectives and goals. Do not lose sight of them. Is there something we might be missing because we have not paid close enough attention? Are we cutting corners that may ultimately cost us more than they have saved us because they might destroy a good reputation? Think back to our original plans and what we hoped to achieve. Are we living true to our vision, or have we lost our way? Take a moment to pause and get our bearings so we can move forward with confidence. So it's a very strategic planning one. So it's very fitting for Saturn energies there. And then the next one was the 6 of air. Those cards next to each other again. And all physical, energies come down. Once the energies come down, it's when it gets to the lower 3 chakras that it starts manifesting into the physical world. So any physical ailments, dis-eases, etc., are only caused from imbalances in those 3 chakras, because it's when it's up in the mental, the ethical, the mental, the vocal, expressive, and the heart. There's still chances to shift those energies, but once it has manifested into the physical, we need to pay attention and heal and nurture and repair, replenish the physical body. But we also have to pay attention to the psychological, emotional, and spiritual bodies and heal the imbalance of energies that in those auric fields, so that it doesn't come back again in the physical form. So we now read the 6 of air. Six of air. Oh, and this is great. This is as I said, from the pictures and the energies and the colours, and the numbers, and how air feeds fire, fuels fire. Well, the wood fuels it, but air kind of gives it power, gives it oomph. Just to think about when you blow on a fire, if it's not starting, you give it oxygen. Everything's oxygen. All our cells in our body, us, no living entity can thrive or survive without oxygen. It's priority over water or food, fuel. Keywords: solutions, comparisons, compromise, open-mindedness, mindfulness, illumination, epiphany, and personal power. Key phrases: a time of research and investigation. Look at and compare a range of options. Weigh the pros and cons, and it was talking about planning with the 3 of fire card. Be willing to compromise. Don't let rigidity hamper possible success. A moment epiphany. Step into your personal power and do not discredit what others offer. And your 3 is creativity, it's expansion. And 6 is unconditional love. So when we are creative from our passions and our hearts, with love and with the highest good of ourselves and everyone else's at the forefront of our mind, our intention, then because it's in everyone's highest good and the highest good of Mother Gaia, the energy and the empowerment behind that is just like amplified. And together it equals 9, which are completion, which means there's like successes. There's going to be completions of a cycle and end of that cycle into the next stage, so it will progress up onto the next stage, however that applies to your individual situation. Meaning, the 6 of air represents a solution born of compromise that lies somewhere in between the black and white, either or choices that are so often seen as the only options available. Now is a good time to contemplate and compare a range of different options in order to discover the best solution for one and all. Therefore, it is also time for research and investigation. As you consider the options, compare, take notes, weigh the pros and cons for each, especially with that free of fire planning card, there might be a need for compromises to be made, as sometimes, in order to achieve our goals and objectives, compromise is required. Now is not be the time to prevent an outcome by being inflexible and taking a rigid stance. So, I mean, it's nice when people use positive connotation words. So, outcome by being inflexible, it'd be like, be flexible and adaptable. Because if you're rigid, it's going to crack and break easier. The Six of Air also represents like a bamboo. Bamboo's really strong, but it bends in the wind. You know, the Qigong kind of bamboo move. The Six of Air also represents that singular moment of revelation and illumination, when the mind opens and at once understands the extent of the power we have over our lives. Suddenly, we see our potential in everything. We see how every experience and choice made by us and others has shaped us and our life and brought us to this moment. In turn, we also understand how every choice we make in the present will shape our future. In that moment of recognition, the mind changes in an instant, and so does life itself. The Six of Air is presenting us with the opportunity to act with mindfulness and awareness. From this moment onwards, choose to take responsibility for our thoughts, beliefs, and actions, understanding that even by taking a passive or inactive role, by doing nothing, or by allowing others to make decisions on our behalf, we are making a choice. Own it. The only drawback is that we will no longer be able to blame others for stealing our power if it is our choice to give it away. This is our moment to come of age and own our power. The Six of Air signifies an opportunity to empower and illuminate our life by opening our mind. Potential blockage. The Six of Air reverse symbolizes a bad habit of making comparisons in a divisive manner that separates and creates an us versus them situation. When the Six of Air appears reversed, it is cautioning us to be more embracing of others' differences and warns not to fall into the trap of judging others because they think or believe in a different way to us. It comes to remind us that we are all different and that the one thing that we all have in common is just that we are all different. Every single person has beliefs totally unique to themselves, shaped by their own experience and knowledge. Don't be too quick to discredit what another has to offer, just because their perspective and perception is different to your own. So, two great cards there, and it's all day tomorrow, Sunday, all day Monday, and then it moves into Pisces on Tuesday morning, early hours of Tuesday morning. So if you choose to receive those energies and you need a helping hand, there we go. Thank you. Namaste.